It's almost 12 o'clock, which is the time for our webinar with Svenska Spel. And we're gonna learn a little bit behind what they do at Svenska Spel. I'm super excited. I actually had a little preview, and we actually had a webinar with Matilda a while back, but that was like for Tjejkodars, like beginners on code. We have like a free course if you want to learn the basics of coding, and then Matilda had a very inspiring, actually, webinar as well. Now the time is 12 o'clock. People are hopping in, but I'm just gonna do a real quick intro. I'm Isabel. For those who doesn't know me, I work with Tjejkodar as a project manager, which is like setting up and planning events with our partners, which are Svenska Spel is a partner to Tjejkodar, and then I also help out with these community sessions we have with the Technico, and Technico, for those who doesn't know who Technico is, it's like a tech school. So this is like a joint webinar for the technical community who are studying like JavaScript or something similar, or doing like a free course, another course. Yeah, and everyone, say hello in the chat. Give it up for everyone. And I'm not gonna talk so much longer. I just wanted to let you know if you have any questions. Feel free to like write them in the chat, but we are going to have a Q&A session in the end of this webinar. Like, so Svenska Spel is first going to do it's like a 40-minute approximately, 45, and then we have a Q&A session. So yes, but you also had like a chance to fill in some questions also, so they have prepped that as well. So now I'm gonna stop talking, and I will give the word over to the team at Svenska Spel. Welcome.
Yes, and I will start. So I'm just gonna, I need to send a request to send. Or just give me 1 second. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Good. So yes, I will talk a bit about backend development in Cartech. So I'm gonna guide you through a use case. But first, I will introduce myself. My name is Matilda Haglund. I am 29 years old and I live in Örebro. And I am a backend developer and team coach within Cartech. I have studied informatics at Lund University and started my career at SEB as a backend developer. Then I took a few years as a consultant at Concede, and now I have been at Svenska Spel for about a year. And I am a bit nervous, so bear with me. And I'm going to start off by answering my most asked question when I say that I work at Svenska Spel. And it is, do I have the numbers to Eurojackpot? And no, I do not have the numbers to Eurojackpot. So sorry to break it to you. But I will start talking about Cartech and what that is. So Cartech is an initiative, and we focus on developing technical solutions that promote responsible and sustainable gaming. And this is a definition that I found that captured it well. And so it's a collective term for the technical, innovative capabilities we need as a company in order to continue offering exciting and competitive products without compromising our duty of care. So in simpler terms, we want you to play safe here at Svenska Spel. And within Cartech, we have 3 technical teams, but we of course have a lot of other people working within Caretech. So we have my team, Automatiserad kundomsorg, and we are the back-end team. Then we have Spelkoll, which is more the front-end team, and we work very close with Spelkoll, so we are almost like one and the same team. And then we have Omsorgsdata, and they are collecting the data and analyzing that. I won't go in on too much about what they are doing because they are the expert in data and I am not. So as I said, I'm gonna guide you all through a use case we had. And this use case is called long session or UC2. And what this use case is that we aim to encourage players that have played for over 2 hours to take a break. So this is only on the sports side, and we do not include poker. So basically, if you're playing casino for 2 hours, we will just nudge you and be like, hey, would you like to take a break? You have been playing, I know it's fun, but you've been playing for 2 hours, maybe, yeah, take a break. But in the beginning, it's optional, so you can just close it and continue. But if we somehow see that you have been playing like this for a long period of time, it will actually be mandatory and you will have to take a break. So how we got this is we start with the Caretech snail. And it's not called snail because it's a slow process. It's called snail because it looks like a snail. So it all starts with the business side identifying the needs, both with regulations like the laws, but then also ideas that they have. And we start a concept development with the business side and UX designers and developers and see like what can we do, what is possible, what is not possible. And then when the requirements are done, the fun start for us developers, we can actually start building and producing everything that needs to be done. And when we are done, we start doing A/B tests. And for those that don't know what A/B tests are, is that we pick out a small portion in production that actually gets this new feature. So for a long session, for example, we took 3,000 players. Half of them got the dialogue and half didn't. Then we had surveys to those who got the dialogue about how they felt with the dialogue. Was it encouraging them to take a break or were they annoyed? And then we collect all this data, and then the business side decided, oh, do we want to push this further, or are we just gonna, throw this in the trash and try something else? So if that happens, then we start to continue developing this feature, and maybe we need to do some bug fixes or stuff like that. And then hopefully we can push it out to everyone in the future. So our day-to-day work when we come to this fun stage of developing. In my team, we try to work agile. We have some kind of Scrum ban approach where we take the best part of Scrum and Kanban. And for what I know, we don't have a direction at Svenska Spel how a team should be working. So every team can decide what's work for them. And I think that is a good approach to have because all people work differently. So all team work differently. So trying to find a way for every team at the company to work, it won't work. It will just be challenging and not effective. So we break things down together and try to plan it. We never estimate. I haven't estimated a thing in forever, it feels like. We don't really believe in estimation. But when we start working, we do a lot of mob or pair programming because we are a distributed team. We sit in a lot of different places. As I said, I sit in Örebro, and I have a lot of colleagues in Stockholm or Visby or Göteborg. So we do a lot of coding over Teams. And at first, that was really scary, having someone watching over you when you code. But after a while, it's getting really fun instead. So we do that. And we also have a lot of hackathons where we try to meet in person. And then we just sit in a room and try to solve something together or innovate something. And those are some of the most fun days, I would say. But no matter how we work, if we work alone or pair programming or hackathons, we always do a pull request. No code goes into main without someone else looking at it. And this is a key to ensuring high code quality and avoiding blind spots, because it's easy to get code blind, I would say. I get it a lot. Just yesterday, I forgot to do, like, I had a whole thing to do with just changing the topic, but I forgot to actually change the topic we were reading from. So I forgot, like, the biggest thing you could do. So yeah, pull requests are a good thing to have, and it's a key rule in our teams and our workflow. So with that said, this is our tech stack, or some of our tech stack. I have probably forgotten some, but these are the things that I are mostly in contact with, not so much the front end part, but the back end parts. And it maybe seems like a lot, and you may be wondering, do I need to know all of this? And no, you don't need to know everything. For example, I am a .NET Core developer, and I had never written a line of Scala in my life until I got at Svenska Spel. But now that is the only language I have been coding in the last, say, 6 months. And I have been learning throughout this time that language. So you shouldn't be afraid of entering or seeing languages you aren't used to, because you will have time to learn those. Also, a side note to all future developers out there, that being a developer today is so much more than just writing application. You probably have heard the phrase DevOps, where you mix development and operations, and that is very much so today. So when we have build application, we actually have to build up the pipelines. How are these applications being deployed for different environments? And we are in charge of that whole thing. We don't have anyone that does that for us. We also have to monitor our applications. We need to add things like OpenTelemetry to scrape off our application and start to gather information. And then we use things like Grafana to build dashboards and alarms, so we can see if our applications are going down or if something happens that we need to act upon. So that's a good thing to keep in mind, that it's so much more than just writing code. It's the whole, keeping everything up and alive as well. So did everything go as planned? I mean, I told you about the Cartech snail. We had requirements. We had excited developers that just wanted to code. We had everything planned out. But no, it did not go as planned. So because of change in priorities, we actually had to let some developers go and work elsewhere, which means we kind of had to pause the whole long session development. I think we had like one developer from my team that tried to keep it alive, but that's not sustainable. So I think the plan was that we would start doing A/B tests in spring, but we couldn't do it until early summer. And then we had a problem with A/B tests when we started. So like 2 weeks in, we had to redo everything, and things didn't go as planned. And I would say that happens a lot. Priority changed. You can't do anything about it. And you can have a really detailed plan, and we know exactly what to do, and then something comes in the way, and that's fine. You will get into the goal at some point. So with that said, we actually got a thumbs up for long session about a month ago, and we are now able to permanent it. And this Monday, we actually added more people to the group that will receive the long session dialogue. So from 1,500, now 10,000 people will be able to get this dialogue. So that is a fun thing. And it's a step in the way to for it to become permanent for real. And this is the, what can you say, it's the backend for a long session. This does not show the whole front end thing, and it doesn't show what Omsorgsdata did. And this is a microservice with a lot of modules or application that in real time gather data about our players and analyze that and see which modules, which dialogues do we need to send up for different users? Do we need to set a restriction on the user? We also gather data from other team and we produce data to other teams. So behind this little dialogue, which doesn't seem much to, to the user, you can look at this at 3 seconds and just press close. But then when seeing this, it's like, oh, there's a lot of job or work behind those dialogues. And that is one of the things I like with being a backend developer, that you start to actually see the work behind such simple things as a dialogue. And also like seeing it in production or live and seeing that people are starting to use something, that's also very satisfying. Another question that I get asked a lot is, do we use AI? And yes, we do use AI. I've used it a lot, especially when I started to learn Scala. So much that I actually asked my ChatGPT if we are best friends, been working close for more than 6 months, but she only wanted to be best code buddies. So I think I have some working to do there to become best friends with my ChatGPT. But yes, we use that a lot, and we also use Copilot integrated into our IDEs. We have started to add AI agents into our modules. We started doing that like a couple of weeks ago, so that is really new. And for those who saw it, you could see in my pull request that Copilot was a reviewer. We always use Copilot as a reviewer to have some extra eyes on our code. But a heads up that the AI, it's very tempting to use AI and just, ask it to do code and just paste it and be happy with it. But don't, tip from the coach, don't use code that you don't understand. It can seem convenient in the beginning, but it won't be so convenient if you're getting production errors at 2 a.m. in the morning and you don't even understand what your code does, and no one understands what your code does. So if you, ChatGPT, are starting to give you code and you don't understand the code, ask it to explain it to you. And my tip is to ask ChatGPT to explain it to you like you're 5, because then you get really simplified examples. And I think that is very convenient when you don't understand anything. And it starts to be like, oh, this is a toy. Think of this like a toy box. And you're like, I can understand that. I know what a toy box is. So just a little heads up there. And with that, I will hand over things to Anne and Hannah that will talk more about AI and how we can use it in more meaningful things than asking it if we are best friends. So over to you, girls.
Thank you. I will take over the screen. Do you see my first page, Matilda?
Yes.
Perfect. Yes, let's go into another area of the coding universe, AI and machine learning. And it's me, Anna, and Hanna that will talk about it. I'm the interim head of Data Insikter, which is the team that has all the data analysts and all the data scientists within it. I started at KTH. I studied biochemistry there. Then I was over in US for 8 years and did a PhD at Caltech, which was mathematical modeling of a specific type of biological data that comes from blood cells. And then when I came home, I had a couple of years in the startup business where we were trying to launch a platform for scientists to read PDFs more efficiently. And I have been at Svenska Spel since 2020. I actually came in as a consultant and liked it so much, so I stayed on. What about you, Hannah?
Yes, what about me? So my name is Hanna Gruselius, and I work as a machine learning engineer and team coach here at Svenska Spel. My background is within aerospace engineering and applied mathematics. And upon graduating school, I have worked within machine learning in both the med tech and retail, and now here at the Svenska Spel.
Yes. And at Svenska Spel, AI is a prioritized area. We have worked with it for quite a long time now. We use it to both help the business to develop products, services, and especially enforcing and developing our responsible gambling methods and services. And for my team, Data Insikter, with the analysts and the data scientists, we work with mostly Python, SQL, and BigQuery. So the data analysts, they sit most of the time in Jupyter Notebooks and Panda, and we do analysis that could take a day up to a month, where we extract the data we want, we turn it, we twist it, we map it out, we plot it back and forth to see both what the data can give us, but also see which questions we can answer, how we can like adjust them a bit if the data doesn't allow us to answer the specific questions that the business have. And we do everything from simple plotting to PCA analysis, etc. So that's one part of what my group is doing. The second part is the data science part, which is actually the first part of building machine learning models at Svenska Spel. So we are the first ones that have the contact with the business side, and we are trying to understand their business case, their idea. And then we do something we call the pre-study, which is between 3 to 6 months, 2 data scientists at least, where we look at the problem, what the business want to solve, what data do we have? Do we have all the data we need? What limitations are there? We look at what kind of models we can apply to the problem. And depending on the models, what kind of output does each model give and what suits best the business. And in general, we answer first the question, is this solvable? Can we solve it by creating a machine learning model that is productionalized? And if so, which model is the preferred one? And my group, as Matilda also mentioned, we also use coding agents when we code. And I would definitely say the same thing as you, Matilda. Use AI and coding agents as much as you can. It's super good, but have it. We in my team, we are trying to have the policy that it's like an inspiration or a starting point. Because remember, especially in the data science field, that coding agents never know the data specifically, and especially not your data. So you always need to really understand the code and understand, so to speak, if that understands the data correctly. So use it, but use it with caution. And we also, as you, Matilda, showed how you were building this UC2 UC case. So it's my group that comes in before that and helps Caretech to understand and Spelansvar to understand how this should actually look like, in the sense of what data do we have, how do the players actually play our games, what is the time frames, where would a good cutoff be, what impact would that have, etc. So we are definitely having a collaboration with Matilda's team there. And when we've done that, or these like general pre-studies, and we have a go-ahead from the business that they actually want the model and they are happy with the potential output. My team, or the data scientists in my team, joined force with Hannah's team, which are ML engineers.
Yes, and here the magic happens. No, I'm just kidding. It's not all around. But now we want to take this amazing thing to production. And how do we do that? Well, we start by using all the knowledge that we have gathered during the pre-study. And then we start with the data step. So to be able to put it in production, we set up a data form pipeline. And you see a simple visualization of such a pipeline here on the page. And this is essentially GCP's built-in ETL tool. So we gather data here, we transform it, and we make it available for model training and prediction. And then the next step is to set up a machine learning pipeline. And these are basically portable and scalable machine learning workflows. In our case, they're based on containers, Google Cloud Services, and Kubeflow. And you see an example here on the page of a Kubeflow pipeline. This directed acyclic graph gathers data from a data form pipeline, fetches a model, performs prediction, serve those predictions to the end user. So that's what happens in this vertical graph. And it's also worth mentioning that the machine learning team at Svenska Spel has a platform responsibility. So it's we who develop and maintain the part of GCP where the model development, analysis, and productionalization occurs. And we do this with infrastructure as code principles using Terraform. So that's really, really fun.
Yes, and shortly about 2 models that we have in production at Svenska Spel at the moment. And this is also within the responsible gambling unit. The first model that we have developed is a model that actually monitors all the users that we have, or all the customers, and detect the customers with that starts to have a higher risk pattern for unhealthy gambling. And these customers are flagged, and that output is the input in the next model, which is a model, because the first model actually looks a little bit different depending on which areas you play in, if you gamble in sport or casino, or if you gamble with the tour products or Vegas. So there are a bit different inputs, and model 2 take all these inputs, and it helps the customer help team to prioritize which customer that they need to call first.
Yes, so let's land on this page. So what are we seeing? Well, we have a set of traditional skills and characteristics that are often in focus when we think about a career within tech and programming specifically, perhaps. And I'm sure many of us have heard like classmates at school proclaiming proudly that they picked everything electronic-wise apart when they were little. However, in addition to being fascinated by electronics or proficient in programming, data analysis, machine learning techniques, problem solving, or mathematics even, there are a few vital skills that are often overlooked when you reflect about work within programming and AI. And these are namely the soft skills that one could have. Some of the most important ones, I think, are flexibility, communication, and creativity. And I would make the case that these are pivotal, and I cannot stress enough how important these skills can be for the success of an entire team or project. And what I wish to say with this is do study vigorously and learn hard skills, but please don't overlook and miss the soft skills that you already have, because it could be a make or break in many cases. So basically your education is just a starting block. It's you who run the actual race. So, oh, many hearts, thank you. When looking for jobs, please do remember that the qualifications listed in ads are a wish list for Christmas. Like, no one expects to get all the items on their list. So do not hold back. Apply for the jobs that you think sound fun, you're passionate about, the jobs you actually want, and be candid in the application and recruitment process. Like, companies are not looking for someone omniscient or perfect, but they might be looking for the person that you genuinely are. Back to Matilda.
Now it's me again. I'm gonna give some tips and tricks for you all. So I wanna start off with try out as many things as possible. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone and never try something new, but maybe that new thing is your new passion, or the other way. For example, everyone told me that front end is really fun, and a lot of my girlfriends were like, "Oh, you need to try front end." And then I did, and then I realized that I am really bad at like doing cool web pages and user interfaces. So I went back to back end, but at least I tried. So try, see if you like something, and if you don't, there's always a way to go back. Dare to ask questions. I would say that it's a strength to ask, and it's not a weakness. And it is okay to not understand everything. I can promise you that there's not a single person that knows everything. And even though it may seem like that in meetings, there's probably like 50% that doesn't understand what everyone is talking about. So it's okay. And everyone feels like an imposter sometimes. I can safely say that I do feel like an imposter sometimes, and I know Anna and Hannah also feels like imposter sometimes, and that is also okay. That is just an emotion. It's fine. We all feel it. Learn to read other people's code. You will be working probably in a lot of projects that you haven't started to write code in that other people have, or that someone has written coding for like 10 years ago. So it's good to have that skill to learn to read other people's thoughts through code. And the most important, don't forget to have fun. That is what drives you throughout the days and the years. So whatever you work with, you should have fun.
Yes, and maybe you were already curious about joining us, or you got curious now. We just want to point out that there are available spots, both as ML engineers, data scientist, and software engineer. So just go to our web and you can see more specifics about that. We also have exjob or like master thesis or praktik that you could do at Svenska Spel. Here are just 3 examples from my team, and you would work with me directly if you would like one of these projects. For example, modeling customer journey, where we explore how we can in new ways describe what the customer does at Svenska Spel, and kind of group them more according to biological data and DNA sequencing. We have modeling the effect of giving or receiving a gift. You can give or receive tris as a gift. So we are interested in looking at how the effect of actually getting, for example, a tris as a gift, how that affects engagement and choice patterns. Or a very interesting project about noise reduction strategy, where you don't treat each customer the same, so that you are trying to select out customers that whose pattern is actually more just white noise, so that you remove those and can focusing on the customer that has done an active choice. Or during your studies, you might find a method or a technique that you think is super interesting, or you would actually like some practical experience using it. As long as that aligns with our guidelines and regulations, we are very happy to have you test it out on our data. We have a huge data set that is very well maintained. We have millions of transactions per day. So just reach out if you have something yourself that you want to try out and looking for a good data set to do it on. And also, of course, if you have more questions, either that you don't want to take here or you have it later on, please just reach out to any or all of us, and we are more than happy to go for a fika with you and discuss all these topics more. With that, I'm wondering if there are any questions. I'm sorry, I don't think I see anything while I'm sharing the screen.
Perhaps not, but thank you guys for an amazing and inspiring presentation. We have I noted some questions in the chats, so I think I'm just gonna take them like in order, and you, the one who feels empowered to answer, do that. So, question for Matilda's team: what challenges do you face in your work, and which one stands out the most, and how did you overcome it?
So I would say that the priority thing is my team's biggest challenge. So we have a history of starting to build things and then the priority change, and we need to pause that and start building on something else and then go back to something that we haven't touched in months. So that is really challenging, or we need to do a lot of things at the same time. So we get like maybe 3 separate teams within the team. And that is challenging for us to keep track on what then the other teams are doing. So that is something we are sometimes still struggling with, but we try to only have 1, max 2 things at the same time. And we have a goal actually that the 80% of our workload should be on the same initiative, so that we can work more together and not in separate teams within my team. So how did we overcome it? We quite haven't yet, but we are trying to, with focusing on more the same thing instead of separate things. I don't know if that was an answer to your question.
It was Maya. I hope, Maya, you felt that your questions were answered. And we have another one, I think, which maybe, I'm not sure who is it directed to, but what inspired you? Maybe you all guys working in the team and in the tech, what inspired you to work in the gaming industry, and what do you enjoy most about your own role? Svenska Spel. So we can do in order. Maybe Anna, you go first, and Hannah, then Matilda.
Yeah, I really like the gaming industry, or like this. I maybe don't fancy the whole market specifically, but when I joined Svenska Spel, I really liked Svenska Spel's approach to it. I like the way that they see their customer, or we see our customers, how much care we take for them, and how much focus and time is spent to actually making sure that everybody gambles responsibly and helping them out, which makes it very interesting and inspiring to actually also develop the products and services, because the balance is always there.
Yeah, I second that, and I think I'm really proud of the position that Svenska Spel has within this highly regulated market, and we strive to do a lot of good. Like our profits are directly benefiting society. We donate money to youth sports. We fund vital research into problematic gambling, and all of those things. They drive me to work here. We also have really competent and nice colleagues, many benefits, nice office, good a good culture.
35-hour work week.
Yeah, 35-hour work week. Like, it's a really nice place to be at.
And I will just copy paste that. And I will also say that I really enjoy kind of like the freedom with technology. We can try out a lot of new things and be risky, if you say so, with new technology and do this innovation and hackathons and see does it work for us or not. And I also enjoy my lovely colleagues. I have the opportunity to work with really good people, and they make the work week so much better.
That is so nice to hear, though. Like coworkers do, like maybe have them like the time. So, great answers. Thank you so much, ladies. Maya had also a question on how does Svenska Spel support diversity and inclusion within the team in its teams. And Johanna, you did answer in the chat. I don't know if you want to add or like highlight something, or otherwise we can you can read her answer in the chat. And then Beatrice had a question for you. What cloud provider do you use?
GCP,
You can answer that.
Google Cloud.
And also Arta is Svenska Spel, a Swedish first speaking company. Hannah is answering yes here, but we do yes, but we do have English speaking colleagues as well. So that's nice. And then we have from Sanna here code reviews. Do you do them verbally sometimes, or you just pull a request and sometimes someone reads them through them? Yeah, sorry. And if you do them verbally, is it scary sometimes if you forget what your code does, etc.?
Yes, we do verbal reviews as well. Sometimes when we do these like really big changes, it's easier to just show the code. And it's scary, of course. You're kind of showing all of your work and you can feel vulnerable. But I think that the more you work in a team, the more secure you feel. And if you have really good colleagues, you won't feel as scared. Yes, sometimes you forget things. Like I mentioned earlier, I was supposed to read data from a new topic, and I did everything except, read from the new topic. And my colleague were like, didn't you forget to read from the new topic? And I was like, yeah, good that you saw that, because I forgot. So it's really easy to forget something, but with good colleagues, they will just be like, I think you forgot something. And you just go on with fix that and go on with your day. So you shouldn't be afraid or scared to show your code. It's a really good exercise actually to explain your own code for someone else.
Yeah, and I would like to add on that, like it's I think it's a vital tool to ensure like good quality code, but also like good quality cooperation and knowledge sharing. So if you twist the way you view a code review, it's not that, okay, here's my work. Do you think it's good or bad? Like that's a scary stance on it. It's more, here's my code. How can I improve it? Like how can I make it even better? What did I miss? Like go in with that mindset, because we're all human. We have missed stuff. We have done mistakes. Like we could have misinterpreted like the demands from the get-go, or like whatever could happen. But that's why you have colleagues and you're supposed to work together. So like the strength of the team is what you want, and you want to be as competent as good as every one of your colleagues. So like piggyback on that, pick their brain, like make them available to you. That's more of a way that I wish we see it, especially as women, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah, I can add on that especially for us when we are reviewing analytic code, you should really see it or have the mindset that, I'm using the group to improve my analysis so that I really answer the questions the best way possible. Because we all doing our own analysis, and when you sit alone, it might be that everybody has a tendency to always do what they've done. So by reviewing the code with others, they can actually give you great input of how to maybe graph something or how to answer a question, and you might have answered it 10 times, but on that code review you actually realize that someone else had come up with a really good way to answer it, that you can use and get, you know, great response from the business when you show your analysis. And on top of us, as the data insights team, is also for us a lot about when we review the code, that we help each other to make sure that we have used the data correctly and that we have actually both used it correctly, but also used it to the best, you know, you can use it to get all the juicy stuff or the juicy information out of the data. So I think, like both Matilda and Hannah said, it's a lot about the mindset, why you do it, and what you actually get out of it.
And I think that if you don't understand your code, then code reviews are so scary. So that's also like a good thing. If you take the proper time to chat with AI or think through or search through the net, I don't know, try things out so you feel like, no, I know briefly what this does, then it won't be as scary, of course. So that's also a good thing. Like have a good idea of what you've done and then get help to improve it even more.
Yeah, we can also kind of reverse the question also when you're reviewing someone else's code, to be then, you know, kind, you're helping that person who is checking, did you fill out the requirements? You're not there to, you know, be mean in any way. You know, you do the same thing that you want others to do to you in code reviews.
Very fair point, Matilda. It's like everybody, it's a team, and you want everything to be better and improve, and you want to improve yourself. And like you said, Hannah, if you are nervous, there's something, maybe it's like not picture perfect yet. Thank you. We have another question from Isabel here. Any tips for what you want to see in a portfolio when someone is applying to as a software developer at Svenska Spel?
Yes, that is a good question. Of course, it's good to have some, you know, technical skills as you're developing, and preferably the techniques that the position asks for. But I think Hannah mentioned that the requirements on a job application are just a wish list, and you're not supposed to fill out like every one of those things. So I would say that focus a lot on like the softer things that Hannah also mentioned, you know, being flexibility, curiosity, confidence, really showing like what can you bring to the company, why should they hire you, what void can you fill with your expertise. Because a lot of the technologies you can learn while working. Like for me, example, I learned Scala while working at Svenska Spel. So if you're missing some technology requirements, you can work on those while working. But I think it's harder to fix the softer things while working.
Yeah, and I think it's difficult to say like this one specific thing will make you come through the door or not. Like I don't think there is such a qualification or a skill set. It depends on like what team are hiring, what kind of people do they already have in the team, what kind of person would complement the team, maybe strengthen the team. It could be specific skills or characteristics of a person, their personality. But so do be like very genuine, but also brief. Don't have a really long CV. Like you pick up the most important parts and make them easy to see quickly, because often you get a lot of applicants. So if you have over 150 applicants maybe to go through, then you really appreciate if it's clear, okay, this is the person. If you just open their CV, this is their experience, this is their education, and this is the feel that I get from the person. So make sure your CV conveys who you are, like both hard and soft skills, which is maybe easier said than done, but that's my tip.
Yeah, I got a good tip there once that your CV should only make the employer curious. Then in the interview, you will tell them all the details.
That's
So, yeah,
nice.
keep it brief. I agree.
Yeah.
No Russian novels, like.
That was a nice, like, keep them interested and make them interested in you. I have a question. Do you have like a trainee program or something at Svenska Spel for like
Referring to
beginners?
Johanna, I think we have praktik or like
Oh yeah.
praktik and also this degree projects, but I don't think we have like a formal training.
All right. All right. Yeah. All right. Any other questions, you guys? You can write in the chat, maybe raise your hand and I will otherwise.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
questions that you sent in earlier or
Yes.
did.
Yeah, but yeah, okay, so you have prepped them. Nice. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, I like hijacked your Q&A session.
No, it was perfect. It was we wanted to take the live questions first and then
Okay, cool.
have this as a backup.
Awesome.
Two of these Matilda has already answered. I thought I could answer the one quite far down, which reads, after layoffs and maternity leave, it feels one forgets how to code. What do you do to get back on track, and how do you measure your level after these kinds of periods without feeling as an imposter? And as we have mentioned here, I would say that everybody feels like an imposter many times in your life in various degrees. Some feels it a lot and it really hinders them, and some just feels it as a short feeling sometimes. So my advice or my experience, especially when I did my PhD and you're changing lab and you know, in the beginning in a new lab, you sit with experts, and sometimes, you know, the experts in the world in the subject, you really feel like I have no idea what they're talking about. But after doing that a couple of times, I just realized that only thing that works is just time. Just accept that you will feel that way and lean into it and say, you know, now I start this new where I'm coming back. I will feel like an imposter, but I know it will pass. It's just part of being human, I would say. So don't fight it too much. Just know that you will win in the end if you just continue working. I pass it on to you, Hannah.
Yeah, thanks. I just want to add there because I've also been on maternity leave twice in the recent years, and I felt like such an imposter who was so confused and sleep deprived when I came back.
Me.
Yeah. It's good to also remember that you have developed a new skill set that you come back to work with. So like you maybe have to dust off your technical skills, but oh my God, you're good at stressful situations and mediating conflicts and working on little rest, etc., etc. So you're a new person, and that's all right. So just embrace it, as Anna said, and put one foot in front of the other, and it will get better. So what's your advice to stand out when looking for a first job? I had an idea there. Be brief, be clear. Make it easy for someone to get the essence of who you are and your experiences. And like Anna said, make them interested, but do not see it as an opportunity to tell them everything, because then it will be too long, it will be too difficult to bena out who the candidate is. And I pass on to Matilda.
Yes, I will talk about how did you go about when transforming into development of products with AI? And I can be honest, a year ago I was very anti-AI. I was want to do it in the old-fashioned coding way of Googling. And then after a while, I realized it's so much easier to just paste the error into ChatGPT and it explains to you exactly what's wrong. So that's how I started to accept AI into my work life. Then we started to see it more like within the team, and some people are using it more and some people are using it less. But I would say that all people in my team are using AI on a daily basis. Some have it as a part in their IDE and can chat with it, just more code and chat with Copilot to explain the code or write code for them. And then we have, like I said, one person that started to implement the AI models into our modules to be able to write code and analyze the code after requirements. So for me, it's really gone from, no, I don't want to work with AI to I work with it every day, and I've seen it start to implement into the modules I am working with. Yeah. To you, Anna.
Yes, I was thinking answering, how does your company look on hiring junior developers? And I can speak for the data and in six team. We are super interesting in hiring fresh out people, so to speak, from university or courses. Actually, one of the spots we have open very soon, now in the week, I think the ad will be out, will be that we're looking for someone with no or very little work experience. And we think it's actually a very important part of healthy teams and groups to have both different ages, different and different experience in the skill set. So we look at it very positively. To you, Hannah.
Well, thank you. Is there any question that you really want us to answer? Because this might be the last one. Any takers in the chat? Like, go for this one. This was my question. Don't miss it. Silence. Okay. Let's go for what's the next generation of AI? No, just kidding. We won't solve that in 3 minutes. Last one. How do you ensure security in your development process? Oh, this is a great one. So it's vital to have a secure development process, and we have a very diligent one set up that we follow when we develop things that we put in production, and it looks like this snail but upside down, basically utvecklingsprocessen. And it consists of a very controlled and predefined step process that we follow when we develop new functionality, and it involves everything from how we scope and define the work, how we put demands on it, how we work with version control, and how we do the actual delivery. So it's quite intricate and involves a lot of different steps. But I would like to once again highlight these code reviews. I think these are one of the most vital parts of this process, that we do get couple of eyes on the code and everyone becomes familiar with it and learns, and we lift the whole team as well as the thing we are developing at the same time. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so I think actually that was like maybe the last question, and maybe okay, was I was gonna ask if you work remotely, but you do, right? You live in Örebro, Matilda, right?
I work remotely. I will travel to Stockholm once a week, but that's not a must. It's something that I want to do. So yeah, I have my home office. I am hired remotely.
Yeah, it's very some people are in office, some are completely remote, others come in at different times. So it depends on the role and the team, and also like the qualifications of the one searching. If someone is extremely hard to find in Stockholm or Visby, they might be remotely hired, like Matilda. But if you can find talent that are close to our amazing offices, then that could be the qualifications that we.
Awesome. That's nice to hear. That's good for you to know if you're interested in looking for a job at Svenska Spel. I really love you had like a lot of great takeaways. Like I really love the one in the beginning where you said, like, Matilda, I think it's important to understand the code. And if you're gonna ask the AI, explain it to you if you were like a 5-year-old. I love that one to get it really like the core understanding of what it is. And like and also use, like, I think Anna or Hannah, that you said is that use it as an inspiration or a starting point, and always like fact check also. I know if you're not if it's not code, maybe I don't know, but yeah, really good takeaways. And like also don't forget that everyone has been like feeling imposter syndrome at one point or another. It's human, we're all human. That's like a little takeaway also. We're all humans, don't forget that, and be kind to everyone. Thank you so much, ladies. It was a pleasure to having you here on this community session. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone who joined. Now time is up, so I would love to wish you all a very lovely afternoon and rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.